What's good? You're listening to Daniel and Gian Talk Shit. I'm Gian.
And I'm Daniel.
And today we bring back special guest, fight expert, self-proclaimed fight expert, and street connoisseur, Mr. Andrew Galvan.
Thank you.
So, let's get to the nitty-gritty. You know, we're on here. We all saw All Eyes on Me. A lot of you guys on YouTube were hating on us for our reaction video. I've already gone on and commented asking if you've seen the movie, and apparently if you did, you ain't saying shit back because
it was a shitty fucking movie. That's just
It was a fucking piece of fucking trash.
It was not even. That's not even. I mean, there were moments that were like could have been a part of a good movie, you know, but there was those moments were very far.
The only moments I
between.
saw was when they had a real actor on screen, and it was his mother.
Sure.
Yeah.
I believe she got nominated. Did she get an Oscar or?
No, she's just in The Walking Dead.
Can we?
She got an Emmy, I think, or she has some acclaim.
Can we be real for a second right now? Fucking black actresses are killing the fucking game right now. I feel like the brothers themselves are falling off when it comes to the acting on screen.
There's not minus my boy Sadell. I don't see no one that got chops.
Right.
As far as like the young, none of the guys that I know that are on stage. The ones that I do know on stage, Daveed Diggs from the Bay Area, he got a Tony for Best Actor, but he was in Hamilton.
Okay.
Solid dude, but he's a stage actor.
Right.
As far as on camera work, there's no one that just
Men.
There's no men.
The women are killing.
They're killing it. Yeah.
What is she? She's English though, isn't she? She's not American.
I don't know. I know she's a trained actress.
What's her name?
I think it's Gira, right?
What is her?
She's American.
She's American. Yeah. Oh, she's a really good actress.
I mean, she's great on Walking Dead. I love Michonne.
Yeah.
She's one of my favorite characters.
I actually didn't like her performance in the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Once again, Daniel's showing off. He knows fuck all about acting.
Whatever.
No,
I'm sorry.
You could not like her performance, but you can't deny that
it was the best in the movie.
Those are the best part of the movie.
100%.
Yeah. And what I'm saying is that just
I understand.
someone that can act.
I understand completely. I didn't like her performance in the movie, hands down, because I felt like she was channeling Viola Davis as much as she could, which is why. And I feel like most. And, you know, I'm going to get hate for this. I don't give a fuck.
That's an assumption.
But most of these high-profile movies with black actresses like Viola, like the girls who were in Hidden Figures, a lot of them fucking act the same way. They got to cry. Like, you tell me I'm wrong. But when they cry, it has to be over. Like, everything has to be over.
How much of that is direction?
Maybe it might be,
and
it might not be their fault.
Well, how much of it is also the scene itself? All these are intense scenes.
Yeah,
they're not like regular
and
my
that's
boyfriend
because,
left me scenes.
And that's because the movie's just fucking over dramatic. It's a Lifetime movie. Now that's why I don't like. I'm not saying she's a bad actress at all. I'm not saying she's a bad actress. Not at all. Never said that. I don't care for her performance in this movie. She just felt like.
This movie should have been more. The thing with me with this movie wasn't dramatic for me. It was like, for me, it was like
why do you think it wasn't dramatic?
Because the way it was shot, the scenes just looked like, we're gonna recreate what we saw on MTV News.
It was poorly edited.
Let me ask you something, for real, from a movie standpoint. Both of you, this is my question, based on piggybacking on that. Who the fuck is Tupac in this movie? Not who he was in real life. What do you know in the movie? Who's Tupac, the character? Who is he?
To me, he's just a guy that went astray. You know,
there was no
development. Who is he?
He didn't. What do you mean? Who is he? What's that mean?
Like who? What did he do? You show like what was he like? What was his behavior like? What was his attitude like? What did he do when he was a kid?
Well, the movie didn't show any of his greatness at all.
No. They showed nothing.
They didn't even.
It was disconjointed.
They didn't show him getting into the school that he got into, which is actually not a fucking shitty school. Right?
No, it was a performing arts school.
They didn't show one fucking thing.
They didn't show the genesis of where he created Thug Life. There was no development of Tupac in this story.
So by the time you get to like the emotional moments, the emotional beats, you don't resonate with this character.
That's why there wasn't drama for me. Those moments, moments weren't earned.
I'm agreeing with you. 100%.
You didn't earn the actors didn't earn them, and that goes to the writing didn't allow the actors to earn those moments.
All white writers, right?
It was all white
was a couple
writers.
Latino guys.
Like a couple Latino. You got a rudimentary director. I mean, Benny Boom directs. There's no knock on him. Make your money, but he directs music videos. The one movie he did was straight to DVD, and this was straight
That's
to
not
DVD
his fault.
quality.
I can't blame that on him though.
You can't.
No,
You can't.
because
Whose choice it was to?
you get the work you get, man. It's like he's.
Doesn't mean your work's quality though.
but if you work with the script that you're given, I'm pretty sure he only had like 2 weeks of pre-production on this, or not 2 weeks. He had something outlandish.
I mean, you also as a director, the
if
buck
you're
stops at
defending him,
director.
if you're defending him in that you can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit, I'll
I
give
am,
you that
100%.
much. But there's still some stuff going on.
But then you also have a duty to say, like the stuff you say, professional integrity. Like, well, we did Pac we did him justice. We felt like we did.
Well, I
You're
mean,
lying
the
through
whole
your
movie's
fucking
shrouded
teeth.
with controversy. More and more shit's coming out. Like, they waited until Afeni died.
Yes.
Before they started filming the fucking movie. Because she has the rights to his...
So I
had
thought
the
she
rights
was
to his-
involved in the product.
She was not
No,
involved. She was
she's-
So
silenced.
explain to me the backstory, because I'm not.
Well, this
They've been
movie,
trying to... Like,
I
mean,
only know what's on MTV.
They've been trying to
News,
make
you
this.
know?
They've been trying to make this
Since
movie
2010.
for a long time, and there's.
I know John Singleton was a
no,
part
the
of
first
it.
director that was attached to it was and writer was Antoine Fuqua.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then it went to
And then it went to
Singleton.
John.
Okay.
And then Morgan Creeks, I believe they were about to run out for the rights of the picture and the musical rights. So something happened shady with Afeni and the lawyers, and they silenced her. She couldn't make a deal somewhere else.
What do you think happened?
Long story short, I just think that she was handcuffed by the deal that she agreed to with Morgan Creek. And these people wanted to make a film, and they made a film. And like I was telling G, this was not no fucking $45 million movie. This was like a fucking $20 million movie, and someone pocketed some money or something. I mean,
You could just tell by the way they shot
we
some
went
of
to
the
the best
scenes.
fucking film school in the world. We know when fucking someone half-assed a fucking movie.
Well, that's why I'm saying it felt like not a lot of rehearsal time.
No,
not a lot
nothing.
of thought.
There's no. Benny, I'm not trying to diss Benny Boom, but
not the whole movie.
you can't compare Benny Boom to fucking John Singleton or Antoine Fuqua.
or even F. Gary. What's his name?
F.
Gary
Scott.
Gray earned
Or
his
is it
chops.
Gray?
F. Gary Gray.
F. Gary Gray like built up his chops. He went from music videos to films.
Hey, I'm not here to hate on the director.
No.
to
Well,
be
no.
honest with you, because to be honest, like when push comes to shove, we don't really know what was going on in his situation.
Yeah.
Where maybe he was that last minute replacement. Maybe the producers were over there saying, "Hey, do you want to
All
fucking
right,
make
all
this
right.
movie
I
or
wanna,
not?"
before we go someplace we don't need to go,
Mm-hmm.
I need Daniel. I need you to not pull a Wonder Woman and get all fucking defensive like you're
No,
Benny
I'm
Boom's
not.
best fucking friend.
I'm not.
Yeah,
And get all
just
fucking-
because.
All right, that's-
your works at the director's work.
You don't
is
know
his
this guy
legacy.
from Adam.
But
You've
I
never
wa-
seen any of his
But
shit.
let's okay. Here's why I'm gonna say let's refocus the hate. At least say that the writers deserve more than anything else, because you can't create shit on the fly. Okay, you just can't. You can create moments within a scene that have been written, but if he's not a writer on it, I mean, we both know. Let's be real.
But if the
the
producer-
story
yeah.
fucking sucked.
It
period.
did. But if you go on to like the Hot 97 interview with the director, with the main producer, they're saying like we felt we did Pac's service.
I did hear that.
So come on, you're lying.
How much of that is like saving face because you need to be
But I
you need to
don't-
be
you know
I
what
don't wanna
though?
say face,
I
though.
mean,
let's be real.
Let's be real. It's a
you
fucking
ex-
biopic for a guy that died 20 years ago. You have so much
An
fucking
iconic
footage.
guy.
You have so much access to information and media. You know how I feel about biopics. I think biopics are the laziest filmmaking around, especially when it comes to modern figures, because your actors have fucking footage for them to completely act like them. It's not Amelia Earhart where you got to fucking figure out how Amelia Earhart really was. Nobody's alive that knew her, or a historical figure from the 1800s. You know what I mean? Any of these movies, the fucking 12 Years a Slave, there's no reference. You have no idea how those people acted back then. You can only assume.
You don't even know what they sounded like.
No, you
back
don't even
then.
know what they sound like. With Tupac movie, with Straight Outta Compton, with any biopic that's coming out, I can't anything that has
Biggie, the Walk the Line.
Walk the Line. You had so many videos.
Ray Charles,
of
Muhammad
all
Ali.
Yeah. You have all these videos. You have like reference points to build a performance out of them.
I prefaced it. Then again, that goes to you had actual actors that knew how to
Yeah. It has
delve
to do with
into and
casting,
create
too.
a character.
Right.
I'm
They
not trying
pick
to knock
someone-
on Ship Jr. that did Pac's role.
Well, he's obviously-
but he did good for a guy that doesn't know how to act.
I mean, I
for a
thought
guy that doesn't know how to act,
for a
has no
guy who
experience.
looks like Tupac, he did well at being Tupac. Let's put it that way.
He did good at memorizing his lines and trying his best. And
He could act in other things. I could see him in other things. Now, is he going to be in Scorsese's movies? No, but I can see him doing little
I mean, if
bit
you want to give him
parts.
credit because he's wet behind the ears, sure, But I called it from the trailer. I said,
I
this
knew
guy-
he was
We
bad.
both did. We
Yeah.
both
he
called
wasn't.
it.
He wasn't. That's the thing. He did good for having no experience.
You know what?
He
But-
tried. I could tell he put effort.
Anthony Mackie would have been a better Tupac.
Oh, he would have been horrible too.
You think? No, I'm not saying he was the choice for Tupac. I'm just saying out of the announced castings, Anthony Mackie would have been a fucking way better Tupac.
I think that to not this first of all deserved the miniseries treatment because you could do a whole movie on Tupac's mom when you really know who she is and her story.
It needed to be a TV show.
It needed to be
An HBO eight-part
six
series.
episode miniseries because it just was piece by piece. The fucking scene at the rally that just like, okay, here's baby Tupac that looks mixed, and bam, we're gonna throw
That's
that
what
there.
I was saying.
Bam, we're over here in Baltimore. Bam, there was no.
Why did they go
There was
there?
no
What was-
development into how Tupac became.
It didn't
how
help-
his mind changed, how he changed as an individual.
Well, I
100%.
feel like your biggest issue, and I'm going to agree with you after watching it, was you talked a lot about how they didn't really give the Bay Area any of the credit of his uprising. And what I noticed more than anything was they spent a lot of fucking time in New York.
Yeah, it was
a
that
lot
bias,
of fucking
yeah.
time in New York. And we,
tax credits or something. I bet you there's something like
I
that.
mean, you could shoot anywhere and call it
You
New
take-
York.
you
They
take-
shot in Georgia.
You
They-
take
that's
the
just a
Bay
feature.
Area out of Tupac, he doesn't rap.
They played too short.
They played E40. They played a new E40 song. Not a new, but they played
They-
a more modern E40 song.
You take the Bay Area out of Pac's life. There's no Black Panthers. There's no fucking him rapping. That shit with the police that happened. He bought his first gun in the Bay Area. He learned.
Well, see, that's
he
what
says
I'm- that's
the
what I
video
mean.
of Tupac on record is like saying how much he learned as a man being out. He learned how to be a man in the Bay Area.
What they did, in my opinion, and this is what I was trying to say earlier, it did no justice for someone like me who only knows MTV News,
Yeah.
who only knows the fucking behind the story. I don't know the intricacies. I never read a book about him. I've listened to his music. I'm familiar with his music. I am, but I don't really. It doesn't interest me all that much. The overlapping like the feuds that should interest me. I know a lot about that and like Big and stuff. But what I wanted to say though is, how can you make a Tupac movie? You make him look super innocent. I mean, honestly, what does he do bad? Maybe he punches some guy. I think he punches someone in the beginning because like his mom's selling, or that was towards the end. I mean, what has he done that was like street? Nothing.
The arc was sudden.
Right, exactly. And you're
But
all supposed to.
They don't even show like Pac.
I mean-
Pac tried to sell drugs at one time, and he was so bad at it.
He's presented as an angel in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, as a product of bad circumstances, but he never made any of his own.
That could actually be a
decisions.
happy accident because as someone that grew up during that time, and as someone who was not a Pac fan growing up,
You might really hate this guy, but if you watch
I
it,
always thought that he was a poser. I thought he was a studio gangster, and then he was going out and trying to do shit to give himself credibility. But there was always something that was inauthentic about the stuff that he was doing when he was getting arrested, when he was making controversy.
even the movie kind of presented that with that the park shooting where he kind of was just there, and then they kind of started talking shit. And he kind of got in their face, but he didn't pull a gun. Like someone else shot that kid.
Well, he probably didn't even have a gun at that time.
No, the story.
You know?
Pac wasn't no punk. Pac wasn't a punk, but he wasn't this street dude hustling, doing none of that, pimping, macking.
He wasn't Suge.
Suge wasn't even out there active like that. Suge just got smart enough to get people on his payroll.
Well,
like
he
look at
was
Suge now.
involved.
Look,
He was involved with stuff who people
but
who
like,
did stuff
but
like that,
exactly.
though.
But like Suge, even if Suge was the man now, look where he's at now. And I love Suge. You know,
Look where he was good. Whoever the actor was,
I didn't
don't-
like him
I
either.
don't know I don't know like in terms of accuracy, but at least in the world, I at least bought him.
Suge
Well,
was
he had a
Suge was-
presence about him for
Right,
sure.
exactly,
He
yeah.
used his size.
Suge,
Yeah.
Suge had muscle at that time when the money was coming in. He was able to leverage the type of people he
That's
needed to
one way of
leverage when you
saying
have
it.
when you have power, when you have money. But Suge also wasn't out there in the streets hustling. So he was a smart, educated brother.
Well, because he knows if he's not doing it, he can't get in trouble for
Yeah.
it.
So Pac was never that dude pulling out on the turf like. He was no Mac Dre. He was no E40. That there's a story where E40's goons not kidnapped Biggie, but they held him hostage because they really was going to kill him. This was back in after the first time Pac got shot. There's a story like E40, like, you know, they called him in the middle of the night, like, man, we got
They
Biggie
booked
here.
a-
They booked
show.
a fake show, and they were going to some of the goons in the Bay Area, like, what do you want us to do? 40, like, and, you know, 40 was just like, nah, leave that alone, man. Don't even, you know.
Because he said he didn't like E40 in a magazine.
Yeah.
He said he didn't like his style.
He didn't like his style.
They fucking,
So it wasn't Pac related. It was just
Nah,
because
they
It was a
booked-
whole East Coast, West Coast
but
beef
they-
at that time.
They
And
booked
still.
a fake concert. They booked him.
Oh,
They paid
and so
him
he
and
came
flew
out.
They paid him.
out. And when he showed up to the gig, it was just nothing but goons waiting for him.
Dang. That's
You know.
savage. That's
Yeah,
badass.
that's that.
I mean, that's not cool, but I mean,
But I mean, but that's why for
I mean, he's
me,
not alive to say thank you, but E40 saved his life the first time.
yeah, he did. So it was just when you grow up in that shit and you know like the intricacies, you've wiggled with people that are close to that shit. How do you not have Tupac's producer, the one that did the most songs with him in that movie, the one that did the most hit, Johnny J? How do you not have him in the movie? That's the guy. Tupac's legacy is his fucking music.
There's a lot of people were signing off on it though. A lot of people were like, "I'm not trying to fuck with this movie." Like they were.
because they knew better.
Well, he passed away. I want to say 4 years ago.
Oh, okay.
You know who
He was allegedly jumped from a tower at Twin Towers, L.A. County.
Oh wow.
But a lot of people didn't do this movie. One of the outlaw, Napoleon, didn't do this movie.
you know who did do it? Snoop Dogg.
That shit was fucking
That was
trash.
so dumb. You know what's funny about that is like, yeah, they got him to do the ADR, but the guy didn't look anything like Snoop.
No, so it's worthless. You might as well just
Yeah.
have him sound like whatever he sounds
Exactly.
like.
Dr. Dre didn't look nothing like Dr. Dre. I mean, there was
Just
no.
the outfit.
That was
It was
trash.
just
The whole
terrible.
theater laughed like,
Yeah.
what the hell is this? When I watched
because
it.
everyone laughs. It was like the baby in what's the Clint Eastwood movie? The one American Sniper.
Oh, you
the
could
fake
totally
ass
tell it's a
baby.
fake baby.
You could tell
Yeah.
that that's not Snoop Dogg's. Like, I mean, you could tell it was Snoop Dogg's voice.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, you could tell that wasn't the actor. It was so.
It's just
pathetic.
like there was a good blog on what was the blog? It was I think the Root talked about this. This had a chance. Pac's story. He was like, this could have been like our Michael Corleone, if you would have delved out and developed him from A to Z. It had a chance to be like a nice little saga to where like if it was done right, you show like the trend, the
I 100%
progression.
agree with you.
That this didn't deserve a movie. This deserved a 6 to 8 episode miniseries.
It deserved to be a movie made by fucking Scorsese.
Scorsese or a
fucking
Fuqua.
a 4-hour movie.
Yeah,
whatever.
I tweeted it actually, like how Pac deserved the Scorsese treatment.
Because I mean, let's be realistic here. And I know you might not like the movie, but Notorious did Biggie better justice than this.
Oh,
movie.
I completely agree.
100%. And at least in that movie, you felt throughout the whole movie.
I
that
play Hit 'Em
Biggie-
Up every anniversary
that
of
Biggie was
Biggie's
a-
death.
That Biggie was a prodigy. Like in that movie, you got that he was the prodigy of this. Like, I don't know why you keep telling me to do. I'm fucking talking into the mic.
You're talking over the mic.
Hello, can you hear me now? Is it better?
I completely agree with you. No, that the
But I'm just
Notorious movie
saying
was.
that it's like by the
It
end
wasn't
of
that
mo-
good, but it was.
It always
yeah.
showed you how good Biggie was at writing,
Yeah,
at
dude.
rapping, at whatever, and they didn't show any of that with Tupac.
They didn't show none of
He wrote
Tupac's
the
skill.
poem
I
that-
was so disgusted seeing
Jada poem.
I mean,
Like-
there was stupid shit like
recreate the stuff he did, like the juice, like the I
Right.
get around. What the fuck was the point of that?
Who cares? We know what he did. Let's show the stuff that we don't know.
And let's talk about the fucking live performances. They had nothing to do with the story whatsoever.
No.
Like I could say at least it's straight out of Compton. The concerts at the live performances they had him do had a point. Like they were told, if you sing this song, we're gonna shut you down. So the first thing they
"Fuck
did was
the
say,
police."
"Fuck the police," and they got shut down. Like that was a moment that was pivotal to their career. You know, these live concerts they threw had nothing to do with it. It was just let's just throw a song in here. It's a good time for us to throw a track out there. You know what I mean?
Other than the one, like that one little bit with Biggie when he shows up at that release party,
Yeah.
which was cool because it's like you don't really see them interacting too much, like. But it was a short scene and it ended before it even got interesting.
And that's-
And
you know what the funny
they
thing is
They
that-
went to the part where him and Biggie are on the balcony, and Pac's like, you get a glimpse of like how he
Oh yeah,
thinks,
that
and then they get rid of that real quick,
I love that. I love that scene so much.
and it shows the contrast of like,
Biggie was just about
you know,
the money,
a
and
lot of
Pac
people,
was like, "No, you gotta think
a
bigger."
lot of people give shit to like athletes of like, well, they don't do nothing for the community. Pac at least tried. Pac had the mentality, like had the
I
the
love that
mentality
scene a
and
lot,
the
actually.
actual. He had the, I guess you want to call it, survivor's remorse of like, I need to give back to the kid. And that was the furthest thing from Biggie's mind.
And speaking of that,
It's his upbringing.
that was the only thing that I saw that developed the character at all. Is like you kind of saw Pac had this like idealistic thinking that he wanted to give back, that he wanted to save the community, and then towards the end of the movie, he got caught up in the lifestyle and forgot about all that shit. You know,
We forgot who he was fucking with. Like his friends fucked him. At the end of the day, it's like he didn't really do anything. His friends did. I mean that whole
and then they
rape
dropped
thing,
that at the beginning. Like Biggie was telling them, like these are real dudes. Like watch
You
out.
shouldn't- yeah.
You should be like watch out. Like don't get too close to these guys because
And that
They're
goes to show
serious.
Biggie too. Biggie wasn't no real street dude either. I mean, he sold a few rocks here and there, but he wasn't like.
But you know,
he wasn't
everybody
He wasn't
knows.
no kingpin and shit.
But see,
like,
let me ask you something, because
I feel like that. But I feel like Biggie's whole persona wasn't about that life. If it was more.
No, you listen to his thing.
This is more
no.
about him about spending tons of money and like getting fitted up and drinking Cristal and shit. And he had a couple gangster songs, you know, but like low level street shit kind of stuff, like robbing people, you know. And maybe he got, you know, King of New York. He was a big fan of that movie, so maybe he talked about being like a mafioso kind of type.
Yeah, and that wasn't really him.
That wasn't really him, but I mean, that wasn't really anybody other than who we got. Was it Bumpy? What's his name?
That was the guys from the South.
There's
A lot
X-Rays.
of
Well, they had the
like-
guys in New York, the X-Ray, the guy that called him I forget his name, but he was a guy that was untouchable. He was a heroin dealer with Frank Lucas. It was
Yeah.
like one of Frank Lucas's rivals. You know,
Bumpy John. Nicky Barnes.
Nicky Barnes, exactly. Like they had that kind of stuff, and those were the guys that were kind of talking about. You know, Jay-Z, Iceberg Slim was a fucking pimp, and that was one of his nicknames before he got Beyonce.
Well,
I
that's-
just think like with the Biggie movie, the Biggie movie made his legend bigger.
Well, the Biggie movie
Yes.
focused on the music too, more than anything.
That was Biggie's
Like,
legacy.
yeah.
This,
His talent.
this focused on none of Pac's music. Like, okay, let's just cue up this song.
other than the what was it, Dear Mama, or what's they play what song after she meets him in prison for the first time?
Dear Mama.
Yeah, Dear Mama.
Yeah, and like that should have been a moment that was earned. Like we should have seen him writing that song. What was he doing to write that song? Obviously, it was about her. No fucking
Yeah.
shit. We know that. But what was he? You know what I mean? Was
They
it
did-
what all of his music? What did they come from? What was
I
the
mean,
inspiration?
the
What
turning
was the,
point of the movie was the rape case. Like that was the whole that turned everything because that's when Suge Knight stepped in from Death Row.
Right.
To
And they
get
couldn't even
signed.
do the part right where he signs it on the napkin or I think it was a brown bag or a napkin where he signs his agreement.
Well, they shake hands. That's why. He's like, "This is my signature." That was what he or something like
And they
that.
could at
This
least
is-
show the shit like.
right.
And they did get the part right, which was funny. Like Pac wasn't a smart business person. He had no money from all the Strictly for My Niggas album, Tupacalypse Now, all the movies he was doing.
just like Johnny Depp right now.
You know, well, Johnny Depp's suing his business manager because he's got business managers.
But,
I'm going into that field.
Did you
The business
read-
ma- yeah.
Did you read
He
the
has
emails?
expensive habits, but Johnny makes so much money.
I know, but I'm just saying though, it's a similar.
Yeah.
It's a My
Yeah.
point is though,
Yeah.
you would expect these people who have millions. I mean,
Well,
Tupac doesn't have Johnny
this
Depp
was-
money, but like
This
you
was
would
also
expect,
that was like an allegory for how the music business doesn't like you can't make shit on the music business.
Right.
Like
It
you
just
all this
eats it.
stuff that you think is
even
yours.
still today,
The record company is
unless you're Metallica.
they're just fronting you that money. That's not your money. You're
Right.
spending other people's money. You're not realizing
It's
that
a
you're
banking
borrowing money
system.
the whole
It's a
time.
banking system.
Yeah, it's a Ponzi scheme.
That's why guys like back to the Bay Area. That's why guys from Bay Area artists that get enough shine, like Too Short, makes good money.
Well, he doesn't have. Isn't he all independent?
The Bay Area's always been independent. If it wasn't for the Bay Area, guys like Master P wouldn't have $300-400 million. Guys like some of the independent guys in the South that got schooled to that game.
Well, wasn't the whole thing like you get some drugs and a mixtape? Like they
Yeah,
kind of went
like,
together.
you know,
like,
like,
that was how you kind of
those-
put yourself out there.
Exactly.
I don't know, but
it wasn't it wasn't developed at all to figure out who he was. To go from this young, ideal, progressive thinker when you see some of his old interviews when he's like 18, 19, 20, to this dude that's like let life hit him. You know?
What do you both feel about the device using the prison interview as a device to thread the whole movie? Do you think it should have just been a straight up fucking movie, or do you think that this whole like Citizen Kane element where it's like, all right,
I mean, I
let's-
feel like that interview was a cop out, if you will.
It was lazy.
It was lazy. I
Yeah.
think so too. You might as well just had him narrate shit.
It was lazy. I could.
And that's
it
what
was-
they use
The
it as a
documentaries are
I
better.
know,
All the
that's what I'm saying.
documentaries out on him are better.
I love the Tupac documentaries.
The documentary
The one where
where
he talks the whole time, like he's
there's one called Tupac Versus where it's just an actual prison interview for an hour. That's better than this film.
because it's more realistic. At least you get a sense of who he
Well, it
is. I'm
is
sure.
real.
Well, I know I'm saying, but like you get a more sense of who this fucking guy was, as opposed to this 2.5 hour movie, which is too
Back to
fucking
Gio's
long.
point, what was the point of those concerts?
Show off.
And fucking in the House of Blues concert,
I could tell
they
you
do
why.
the song Hail Mary, and that song doesn't come out till Tupac dies.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why right now.
They didn't have the internet to leak tracks either.
No.
They did the whole concert because he first walks into that room when he's with what's it called with his group, that group.
Digital Underground.
Yeah. Where it has that shot where it circles around and it's an empty room, there's no one there, and he's the side piece. And then they do the same shot later when he's made it. That's it. That's the only reason why they do it. A big expensive payoff because he saw his future in front of his eyes, and then later it happened. But we don't really see why. We're putting in like we know he's talented.
And if you read a lot of Pac's poetry and like the stuff that he didn't turn into music, was always contemplating his mortality. That's why he recorded so many songs and did in that time period. And from that time he got out of prison.
That I know.
To see all the songs
like 2 songs a day or something.
Yeah, he did that All Eyes on Me. He did that All Eyes on Me album in like a week and a half. How great would it have been to see just to get that on like this iconic album that one of the first.
That could have been a movie into itself.
Yes.
Just recording the one album, 1 week and a half.
And just to see his work, he was doing movies, he was doing albums, he was doing all these commercials. There was a St. Eyez commercial. They didn't even show that his heightened sense of like I got to get all this stuff done. Something's telling me I need to work. I need to do all this. It was very lazy. It was just
very
like,
passive.
It was very the part with his wife Kadada, with his girlfriend Kadada. Like, well, I thought you were gonna start your own thing. Like, man, Suge's got all why. It just showed him very defeated real quick. Oh, that explains that. And on to the next scene. It was just it was fucking. I was disgusted when I walked out that theater. I was just depressed. Pac deserves so much more than that. An iconic figure. And it was just
check the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's like on 20%.
I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like people still enjoyed it. No, that's a critic.
My mom liked it. My mom liked it, but my mom not. My mom will eat up those Lifetime biopics because she doesn't need like super deep. Like as long as she gets to point A to point B,
67%.
Well, I feel like if anybody's got the most honest opinion of the movie, it's gonna be you because you're not a Tupac guy. You don't have any sort of connection to Tupac at all.
Just his music, really.
But
and not even that.
You know what I mean?
Just
So
I know the hits.
Because like Andrew and I are gonna criticize it for a bunch of different things. You know, like little shit like did fucking Gangster Party really happen because he walked in on a track like that was supposed to be Snoop's track and then he was like, oh shit, that beat's hot, and then that turned into that's not on Snoop's album. That's a Pac song.
The one track that it was supposed to be that was Mind Made Up, where it was Redman and Method Man on the track already. That track was already cut, and Pac's like, I want that one. And Pac had it didn't show the gripe with like there was a little like people were a little tight because Suge started showing favoritism for Pac. Well, because Pac was the only one that, even though Pac was no punk. Like Pac was like, let's get it popping. Let's do something. Like I ain't gonna let no one just talk to me crazy.
Well, he had to be good enough for he offered him that other company, the East.
Because
after quitting,
if you break down the history of Death Row, Dr. Dre puts out the Chronic.
He leaves. He was gone at that point.
But they had the Chronic, and then he didn't put another album out until fucking '98, right?
Yeah.
After the Chronic, then Snoop put out his album.
Because Dr. Dre's not a rapper.
Right. No, I know. I understand.
The DOC wrote that whole album.
But to his point, though, at least in the NWA fucking movie, you know that. Yeah. You don't know shit what's going on.
He's a producer more than anything. But my point is, like, at that time, Pac was the only one selling records. Like, the other guys, like the Dog Pound, would sell their few tracks here. Daz Dillinger put out a solo album. He sold some shit. But nobody from Death Row was really doing anything other than Pac, after Dr. Dre.
I can't remember the number, but I think Suge, through his distribution deal with Interscope, Suge was getting like $6-7 an album that sold.
Because it's balling out of control.
When Pac decided to be with Suge, I know Interscope they had to restructure their deal now with Tupac because that's Suge. Suge demanded that type of renegotiation. So I believe Interscope was distributing Death Row Records, and Pac decided to do an album with Death Row. So Suge was getting the most of the money because he had the distribution deal. Okay, I sell. How many albums did I sell? I think that sold like 5-6 million when Pac was alive. Suge was getting like $5-6 an album sale. Each album sold. And
which is a ridiculous deal.
Those are like the independent deal. That's what like E40 was getting. That's what Master P was getting when he signed with his deals. And now it's like they didn't delve into all of that, like how it all changed. Like, you know, it just showed like little, like at the dinner scene. Like you could have did more of that.
You mean the Untouchables scene?
That shit was all.
It's literally just the You just replaced Robert De Niro with
Yeah.
Suge. Look, go on the YouTube video. I want
Man,
to see some of these comments.
It was just so.
See if you can respond to
I
them
mean, it
specifically.
was just disconjointed. It didn't have any flow to it. It was.
Well, I can give you my honest assessment. Here's the thing.
How much of that is you lay on the director?
I mean, the director's got part of it.
Yeah, and I don't know shit what Benny's done at all.
He's done Next Day Air. You see Next Day Air?
Nope.
Well,
I know what you're talking
He's
about.
also in there with the editors. He's in there,
Sure, but you can only edit. You can only polish a turd so much.
right? But it's
all
still
I'm
like
saying,
the
though,
lack of flow. Who are you gonna blame on the lack of flow? Because the movie didn't flow freely. It had a lot of choppiness to it. It was not.
I think blame is the whole production team, from including the director, and he takes the most heat from it for sure. Not going to deny it, but like you can't miss all the other people.
Because once you found out
even the fucking cinematography looked
once
like
you found
shit.
out the family wasn't on board with it, a lot of Pac's
See, I didn't know
Pac's
that.
close friends, like Scarface, one of the former outlaws, are like, I don't want to have nothing to do with this. Like,
Yeah.
of course I was gonna support it because it's Pac, but then you're like, damn, like, what
And you
really
can
went on?
And you can see what happens when you get support. I mean, look at Straight Outta Compton. Hate it or love it, that movie was fucking leaps and bounds better than this
Well,
movie.
yeah, and of course that's when you have a big studio. Yeah, Universal behind you. They want it to look
They
good.
still let him have the freedom to do
Yeah,
it.
they let them free, but then you cast good at like the guy that played, was it Dr. Dre?
Dr.
Went to
Dre's-
Yale.
Yeah, he's good. He's in a lot of movies right
Yeah.
now. He's coming up. He's the new 24. He's the new Jack Bauer.
There you go. Yeah, and I mean, O'Shea, how hard is it to be your dad?
But he was, but even he did a good job. Though.
Yeah.
I got to give him credit where credit's due. Regardless if he was playing his dad,
Yeah.
sure, I can't do my dad that well where I could play him on screen. I think it's a big, especially when your dad's fucking Ice Cube. I mean, yeah, he looks like him.
Man, Paul Giamatti saved that movie.
Yes,
100%. I'm not. He's the anchor. He's like
That's the formula: is get a proven actor,
Beach Boys.
a proven supporting actor.
What was the Beach Boy movie? Wasn't he in that one?
Yeah,
As their manager.
Well, when you have two Yale actors in a film, I mean, it shouldn't be bad.
What are some of these specific comments? So the Art of Dialogue said, y'all really did a 10-minute review just to hate. Shaking my head. Again, this is for the reaction video. Twista0312 said, I know, shit crazy. Just shows how some people can't relate to our culture, our heroes, and people we look up to. They have no idea, but it's all good. This movie will speak in box office numbers. Tupac's still relevant.
Who is that fucking clown? Our culture, but you ain't for the Bay, bruh. Like,
Twista0312. That's who it is. That's who said that.
Twista
We don't know
0312.
anything
Twista.
about the heroes of the black people. Box office numbers, bro. What are they? Look them up. What are the box office numbers? Because
they
I'm gonna be
made
told
28. Made 28 million.
28. Fuck, dude, I'm trembling. Tupac. You know what the sad thing is? Tupac is still relevant. And
they didn't
will
have
be.
They didn't even have his aunt's fucking Asada Shakur. Like, what the fuck?
Well, she's in Cuba though.
Well, I'm just saying, it deserved Scorsese to touch it. It deserved Fuqua to touch it. It deserved a fucking miniseries.
The movie did get Trump to mention her name though. You didn't
What
hear
part?
when he said we need to have her back. We need to have. That's one of the reasons why we're at conflict with Cuba again, quote unquote.
Oh.
It said we need to bring back the cop killer. That's what he called her on air, but he was talking to her. We
Yeah,
need to bring
yeah.
her back, the cop killer.
Thank
But I
you.
mean, it's because of the movie though. The movie at least brought it up again. And what Gian asked us earlier, he said, if you find another interesting comment like that,
They don't
bring it up.
even talk about how Afeni decided to change his name. He wasn't always Tupac. His name
see,
was
that's what-
Hussein Paris Crooks.
That's what I was gonna say right now. So Gian asked, he said I'm the only honest opinion here because I have no bias. And my impression of the whole film is, how can you have a movie that's so heavily rooted in like the Black Panthers movement, all this shit like that, and you don't even touch on it other than little Lifetime moments? That in and of itself is a big thing, because name me one Black Panthers movie out there that we've had that does any justice to it at all. I mean, what's the Lee Daniels movie, The Butler? There's always scenes where like this character happens to be in the Black Panther, like Forrest Gump. Jenny happens to
Nobody wants to put money into a
No,
Black
not
Panther.
that, and the white establishment doesn't want to see a real good movie.
I wanna see what it
I know
is.
people don't. People
Because-
are afraid to see something that will
because here's the thing.
rile up people. Like if you put if you ask Scorsese to do a real great movie on like Huey P. Newton and the founding Black Panthers, that shit would be amazing.
Or it could be
because
eye-opening.
it'll fuck up people's idea of what
Right.
the Black Panthers
is.
were.
Or it could, for like someone like me, I know surface level, maybe a little lower
Yeah.
than surface level stuff, but I'm not rooted in it. Maybe these fucking people, and I don't know, I'm just speculation, but maybe these fucking people are worse than my perception of them. Maybe I shouldn't be respectful for them. Maybe they've done some grimy shit like every organization has done. Maybe they are a terrorist group. I don't know. But all you see is this. You know, I gotta do this, I gotta wear the leather jacket, I gotta wear the beret, I gotta have a gun. That's it. That's a Black Panther in fucking TV media.
Well,
it doesn't show where
and that's what it was in this movie.
It doesn't know that Huey that evolved while Huey was in fucking going to UC Berkeley, where he got all these ideas and wanted to take what he learned in the university and how the white supremacy structure in like business and academia and politics. How is he going to do his part to dismantle that? He established all that in college. But all you see, like you said, all you see is the leather, the black coat, and the guns.
And the stern attitude. Stern. And they're all like super black too. Like I'm being serious. Like I don't know any Black Panther like bits that like they don't look 100% like from Africa. In terms of you're gonna tell me every single fucking person in the Black Panthers was that?
Well, I feel like not every Black Panther was black. I might be wrong, but at the very
I'm
least,
in movies though.
well, I know. That's the thing. It's like there's an idea.
That's a look.
I could talk to someone right now about the Black Panthers, and they're automatically going to assume that they were a militant, pro-black
Exactly.
group.
That's what I'm saying.
And if any sort of research, you'll find out that in the late '60s, early '70s, the Black Panthers were lining up with every other ethnic group together, trying to unify their groups, and they weren't like anti-white either. They weren't like
That's what
like
they are in
like
Forrest Gump.
yeah, like right now we have this whole like everybody's on their own team kind of deal. They weren't like that. They even realized there was a time, there's writings where Huey was talking about how the gay people are also feeling the same sort of discrimination that we are, that we should unite with gay people as well. We should unite with women as well. Like and
then that just goes to show to my biggest pet peeve. People were complaining like, why are you complaining about the lack of Bay Area exposure? You know how much history the Bay Area has? That's where Pac got a lot of his stuff out of rap. When he's talking about the Panthers, the gay rights, like it's a hotbed area for so much richness that they had a chance to develop. So someone like you said, who just knows the service level, could like get more into like, oh, so that's why Pac thought the way he did.
And Compton helped me with that. When I went to Compton, I learned so much about fucking Marcus Garvey and people like that you don't even fucking hear about in history books at all. You know, there's people out the Harlem Renaissance, all this shit, that's not written in the narrative.
Marcus Garvey was a seditionist, so.
No, I understand, but I'm just saying though, regardless, you need to learn about these people, the bad and the good. You need to know what
because every leader has flaws.
Every single one.
Everyone.
And one of the first arguments that Gian and I had at SC was like over slang, because like it all came from the Bay. That's what I think. I don't remember what it was we were talking about.
I love this segue because I'm gonna bring that up right now. There was that shit, and this is me getting really fucking annoyed.
Oh shit!
But the shit that was annoying me, like with the slang, like so Pac is in high school and he's back in Baltimore, and he keeps saying, "Feel me, feel me, feel me." And for all you clowns out there, feel me is a fucking Bay Area term. That shit started in the Bay. That's an E40 term. You didn't hear that shit if you weren't listening to fucking Bay Area hip hop. So Pac, yeah, eventually he started saying "feel me" in all his records and shit. He got that from the fucking Bay. That's a Bay term invented in the Bay. Feel me.
That just goes.
You know what I'm saying?
That just goes to a director doing their due diligence.
I agree with that.
That's bad research. Absolutely.
I agree with that.
The other thing was homie in New York, the Haitian Jack, aka
Haitian Jack was the one that shot him.
Yeah, they called it. Well, that's they.
Mano.
Nigel, whatever. What I'm saying about Haitian Jack is, and this is another minor little slang. He kept saying Playboy. That's another fucking Bay Area term that he wouldn't have been saying. One thing I can tell you about New York, New Yorkers, they sound like they're from New York. Every single fucking,
all of them.
Every single one of them's like, "Yo, what's up, son? Word is born, guy."
So funny little tidbit of information. That term "player hater," that was
a Bay Area term.
It's a Bay Area term originated by Filthy Phil, who was a rapper that shot a police officer and went on the run. He was on America's Most Wanted.
It's just a lack. It's just a lack of due diligence. You're not doing your research. You're using these terms. It's 1993. They're in New York City. Haitian Jack ain't saying
So
Playboy.
you're saying the New Yorkers are talking like Bay Area people.
Some of them,
Yes.
yeah.
That was my issue with
No,
Sons of Anarchy.
well, what I'm asking-
when they
There
were in
was
the
like
Bay.
it got confusing to the second where you don't know where everybody's from because they're trying to make them look. They're wearing Timberlands.
Well,
they're
hold
wearing
on.
the big hoodies and stuff.
What
But
I'm
they're saying words that are definitely West Coast words.
What I'm asking you though, this is why I'm asking. I understood that, but I'm saying, are you saying that they wrote it in the script not knowing that like these are Bay Area terms and it's entered our lexicon so much that we just assume them that they've been around forever?
That's absolutely.
Or are you okay? Never mind.
Because this is also a period piece too. You're going back to a period of.
I just wanted to clarify.
I put it on
everything.
everything. And in the 1990s, cats in New York were not saying
Playboy.
They weren't saying feel me. They weren't saying
Hyphy.
hella. They weren't saying any of that shit. That everything is.
Nobody
yo.
was saying bruh.
Yeah, nobody's saying bruh out there. Like everybody's saying the same.
Hella.
Listen to a Wu-Tang album and the little interludes they have in between the songs that aren't the kung fu interludes, and that you can hear how a guy from New York, Ghostface Killah, sounds like he's from New York City. Like
Yep.
these guys, like
Yep.
there's without a doubt, I would never confuse any of these guys as West Coast
True.
guys.
I mean, today even the southern rappers, you know what they sound like.
Well, yeah, that's because they talk like 2 miles per hour.
But even then, though, that's where they're from.
Before I used to know, like, okay, those guys are Midwest. Like, I could tell by their Florida some of the
California
stuff
rappers.
they say. Now
Well,
you could be a mumble rapper, and I don't know where the hell you from.
well, what's his face? The Panda? What's his name?
Designer.
Designer. He's from New York, and he sounds exactly like fucking Future, who's from Atlanta. And he does this.
What's your opinion on that? I know what Gion's opinion is.
at least he, I liked it because he dropped Macho Man line. And when someone drops old wrestler references.
Oh, I love that beat. That beat's awesome.
The beat's great. If you listen to Dragon do the beat, I stopped listening to
Who
rap.
would you put his beat? Like what wordsmith would you put?
Oh,
to
there
his
was a
beats?
rapper from Rough Riders that did a cover to that. Dragon. Fucking shitted all over that beat. Fucking went diarrhea. It was amazing. But I stopped listening to like rap after probably you guys don't know what that is. The Jacka from the Bay Area after he got killed 2 years ago. I used to fuck with him in the streets like a couple of my other partners back in the Bay. I really only listen to Bay Area rappers because I know what he's doing in the streets. I've seen him in traffic.
You know the realness. You know
I've
what's
done some
real,
of the.
what's not.
I've done business with him, or I know someone that's done business with him. We've done some of the same few things. I'm not gonna listen to no dude 4,000, 3,000 miles. I don't know who the fuck you are. Your game ain't tighter than where I come from, so I really don't listen.
What's your
listen.
opinion?
See, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna claim the legitimacy like he does. I just think it's trash. I just think it's.
But for me, it's like I'm not gonna let someone in my subconscious that I've never seen before.
Right.
I'm not gonna I don't know you like that. I don't know who
Right.
you are. I don't know what your morals are. I don't know. At least these dudes that I grew up in the Bay Area around, I've seen them in traffic.
No, I know what you're saying.
I know somebody that knows them personally. Like, okay, or I know
There's
someone
a
that
feeling of authenticity.
there's authentic. I
Right.
know someone that was in county jail with them, or I know.
Which doesn't
I checked
matter.
their resume.
That doesn't matter to most people, but for
No,
you,
for me, it matters just
Exactly,
because
yeah.
that's
That's
the
what you
type,
like.
the type of content
Yeah.
I'm feeding. It's a negative kind of music.
It's like I like amateur porn. That's my preferred porn because it's real. It's not the whole glamorous like all the lights in the studio.
See,
the
I like
fakeness.
when it's a Latin dude with a black girl because then he says "papi" and then he's like, "You want more?" They say the Latin guys say, "You want more leche?" But as far as rap, I really don't listen to shit. I listen to all old Bay Area shit.
You like
and
Chance?
Who? What's
Chance.
Chance?
Chance sounds like he's
The
whining
rap-
too much.
The rapper.
He's but he's giving back to the community.
No,
right?
I respect.
He's doing
he's doing
all on his own too.
Yeah, I love that he's independent. I love that he hasn't signed a deal. He's making a shit ton of money
And
off.
he never will either.
That's good.
Well, because he knows the game now. He doesn't need a record label anymore. He's got YouTube. YouTube's his record label.
A lot of guys got their stripe. Like Master P got, I believe, like a $40,000 or $50,000 settlement. Moved to Richmond, California, opened up a record store. Ran into E40, and E40's uncle, St. Charles, hipped him to like the independent game, and that's when Master P just started selling records. Master P got his deal from Priority Records, a distribution deal, $9 an album. That No Limit, Make 'Em Say came out, and that's,
What are people getting now? Just for reference.
not getting shit.
they're getting pennies on. They're back to getting. Eminem was getting like maybe at his height, he was getting like $1.
And that's Eminem.
And that's Eminem.
arguably
Tribe
Eminem is
Called
one of the
Quest was like bankrupt.
Yeah,
Their deal was
E40 was getting
that
like
terrible.
$5-6 an album when he signed his deal, and E40's consistent. E40 E40.
He'll never sell 1 million albums. But
E40 and Too Short still can press up 400,000 CDs, drop a new album, and then within like 14 to 18 months they'll sell that many.
Well, that's what I was about to say. They might not sell 1 million albums, but they're
getting the
over
majority.
1 million albums.
They keep most of the money.
They keep most of the money
sales.
from the album
Right.
sales.
So yeah, because so you think pennies on the? I know like the services like Spotify and things like that. They pay like
Nothing.
micro fractions of like 1 penny.
Now artists only get money from their shows.
Yeah, it's
And even Gian was mentioning this
360 deals.
that it was people or no, was it you or did I read this? Like people aren't even getting merchandise. Like that's not even a part of like their deal anymore.
No,
like,
'cause what
they're
hap-
even controlling that now.
Because
Like,
they're
for the
getting
concerts.
they're getting bamboozled. That's
Because
they know like so
the market's saturated with all this. There's just so much ability to put out content now, that and the consumer wants it so quick that there's not many artists that get it like Chance. Where you know what? No, I'm not gonna sign with you. I know how to put out my music myself. I can press it out. I can put my own money into it, and I can withhold it from my fan base enough to where they'll anticipate, and that level of anticipation will rise to once I drop the new music. Then they'll we're
it's
gonna
tough
get it.
though because you
Yeah.
have to be good.
You have to have good.
you
You have to
have
have
to be
talent.
good.
But what is good? What is talent?
Well, I mean, people have to like you.
Yeah, people have to like. People
the
like
thing
Chance.
is, the business is completely different, and
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is all genres of music. Like people used to put out full albums, and from the first track to the last track,
They went together. It was an album.
and you liked,
It was a story.
But you liked there might be a track or two you weren't fond of, but you liked the majority of the tracks. People are pushing singles now.
Yeah.
That's the difference, and that's all another reason why you're not going to make any money because you don't have an album to sell.
Yeah, there's not it was a story. Like, I mean, I've listened to Chance. I don't personally don't get into him just as a style, the delivery, but he's authentic. He's honest. He's
not serving no one. He's not serving anyone.
No. What I'm saying is, he's giving himself on his music.
Right.
He's being He's being vulnerable. He's being an
Because
artist.
he doesn't have to serve anyone but himself.
No. And
Okay.
Kendrick, like,
Yeah.
I can't get into Kendrick.
Tell me about Kendrick. How do you feel about Kendrick?
I can't get into his delivery, his word flow. I'm like,
Fucking A right. That sounded like something I said.
Keep
I
going.
fucking
Let's expand
can't, I
upon
can't,
it. Let's go. Let's have a
I
dialogue here.
he's not. He doesn't light a fire into me like, whoa.
So do you think he doesn't deserve? Doesn't deserve any of the
if
praise he
Kendrick
gets?
wasn't from Compton, he wouldn't be rapping.
Let's for the sake
You
for the
gotta
sake-
understand. Like,
I understand.
Dr. Dre will put on Compton rappers just because
Hold
they're
on.
from Compton.
I understand where you're getting from. I get it wholeheartedly.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you were from the Bay and you got money, you might only put on Bay rappers. You might not put anyone else because there's that certain home pride that
Yeah.
you feel. Okay, so let's for the sake of this conversation, let's throw that aside. I'm just saying, as a rapper, regardless of where he's from, insert him wherever. Obviously, you can't, but like, just think of him as a rapper.
Before Andrew, I'm going to tell you why Kendrick is where he's at right now. Kendrick is an oasis
Well, white
in the
people like
desert
him.
of rap.
White people like
No,
him.
that's white people have always white people
people
are
love
the
rap.
only people that have been fucking supporting rappers. This is not you're laughing. This is the truth.
Yeah. It
is true.
Fucking poor black people are not buying fucking records. They're fucking recording that. They used to record the song off the radio on a cassette tape. So they had to all. I have friends
that.
that used to have mixtapes, and it was all recording the tracks
I
out
did
and
that.
trying to hopefully get the whole thing before the DJ comes in
Yeah.
and pops the next track in. Fucking, it was the rich white kids or middle class white kids from the suburbs were the ones buying rap records and putting these.
Who do you
guys-
think was pirating the music and selling bootleg CDs?
I
That's all in the ghetto.
I understand. That's obviously why when people see, this is why the whole
But I'm
war
s-
on drugs came about, because you see, the rappers doing crack, whatever the fuck. I'm gonna try it, and then it comes to them, and then when it happens to white America, then it's a problem.
Like Kendrick, does he have talent?
I'm asking you. That's what I'm trying.
Lyrically.
I can't get into his delivery.
This is-
how he sounds.
And I said the same thing.
He
Like,
can't. Kendrick.
you
Kendrick ain't no fucking
you could
big
be
pun.
saying-
He ain't no Nas spitting fucking flow.
So just look at words. If you were to read his words,
That doesn't mean shit to me, man. This is music.
I'm
It's
just
music.
I don't know. I'm not defending him.
If
trying
I
to
were to
get
read
something
his
out of you.
words, I'm like, okay, he's a decent poet.
Because there's a story that Eminem tells about Kendrick. I don't know if you know.
Well,
it.
Eminem's a fucking whiny cunt that fucking bitches about
Eminem's
everything. on his-
another guy. That dude's so overrated as
He's
fuck.
fucking overrated.
See,
and
I like Eminem.
It's
Eminem. Well,
Hey, we listen to
a
death
lot,
metal.
Well, a lot
I don't know
of,
if how that's relevant.
a lot of.
It's funny.
You listening to death metal and liking Eminem says a fucking lot. It means you're not a
Explain.
rap guy, so he's so fucking commercially appealing that you're into it.
Yeah. I'll give you this though.
Boom.
Eminem's.
You don't know shit about rap, so you liking Eminem actually takes credit away from fucking rap. That's why I don't fucking talk about rap, because I listen to rock and roll more than
Eminem's flow and delivery.
It makes perfect sense. You like death metal, so if you're like, hey, this rap group is so fucking awesome,
Led
I'm not
Zeppelin,
gonna.
I also like Metallica. I like Rolling Stones.
But you don't like a lot of
you
don't like just hip hop groups. You like.
If
a lot
you
of
tell
things.
me that you like a fucking rapper, I'm not gonna take your opinion seriously because you listen to fucking Deicide.
Why? Because I like
Because
Kanye
you rock
West.
fucking death metal t-shirts.
Kanye West is fucking trash.
He likes Jesus.
Exactly. It's a clown.
Kanye West hasn't been good since fucking college
Is
dropout.
one thing you can tell-
Jesus the one with
all
the burnt
Kanye,
CD look?
You don't even know.
and all Kanye West does
Is
is
it?
take old 60s, 70s fucking songs and speeds them fucking up. There's nothing original about Kanye's content.
I don't like Kanye. I never liked Kanye.
I like what is it? Black Skinhead.
I'll give you this though. Eminem's
That's a good song.
Eminem's flow
Tell me that's not
and
a good
his
song.
delivery is way better than Kendrick's. Bar for bar, word for word.
is?
Eminem's.
Oh, Eminem.
His ability to be an MC. Oh, he'll murder Kendrick
That's
in
what
a
I'm
battle.
talking about.
But that doesn't make you a good fucking. That doesn't make you.
Sure, attribute the person. Let me just get to my point. I brought up Eminem. The story is, he heard about Kendrick because he was kind of a nobody, and then he came out of nowhere, and everyone was saying he's the GOAT, blah blah blah. Like they still are saying now. So Eminem calls up Kendrick, as the story goes, calls him up, says, "Hey, I'm doing a track for my new album. I want you to do a guest spot. I'll fly you out here, whatever. Are you down?" So of course I'm down. You know, you're Eminem, whatever. Comes on in, comes down. Kendrick came with his posse, with all his people, whatever. And the whole reason why Eminem brought him down is because he wanted to see if he wrote his own shit. He liked what he did, but he wanted to see if he was real or not. So the story goes, they come in, and he tells all of Kendrick's posse to go outside. It's just them two in the studio. And then they work it out, and I guess he went in there and did the one thing or whatever, and then they wrote more, and I forget what song it was, but like, he said based on that he saw his process, this is all real deal, he's no joke. Kendrick's kind of like, but obviously like you'd have to respect Eminem, I guess, in order to take that as meaning something. But for me,
because I don't respect him because he had the nerve. He had the nerve to talk
saying.
shit about MC Hammer, and MC Hammer still has the highest fucking selling rap hip hop single of all fucking time.
So what? You can't talk shit about people? When is that a rule?
He fucking maligned his character, saying he said, "I can't believe people listen to that garbage." You know how many people that ate off that garbage, that got jobs off that garbage?
Is that what he said?
He said, "I can't believe people are." He said it on the MTV thing, and that's when Big Boy.
When was this?
This was a while ago. This one, Big Boy and Outkast are like, "You talk shit about Hammer, run up on Hammer, and Hammer will beat your ass." Eminem's just another version of fucking Elvis Presley.
I don't know.
You trying to say he's a cultural, what's it called? Cultural appropriator?
No. The first decent one that can do it.
No.
You're gonna elevate him in the pantheon of greatness.
I don't know.
Like Elvis.
Oh, there's
like,
absolutely something to if Eminem was black, you wouldn't know shit about him.
I feel okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Eminem being white is the big reason why so many people know about him.
But there's a difference between.
And Elvis is the same thing. He stole a lot of shit from the black musicians.
There's a difference
at the time.
between emulating and stealing. I 100% believe Elvis stole shit. I believe he didn't write most of his hits. I believe other people did that for him. Now, obviously, rap has producers and shit like that. You have a bunch of people.
Who do you think writes the hooks most of the time in rap?
For Eminem?
No, in general.
I have the fucking
producer. Yes.
Okay, I know, but that's what I'm trying to make this a case study about Eminem here. Okay, I personally look at Eminem as someone who has been in the game long enough to where he is as like vocal and very, because whether or not you like him or not, he's very out there in terms of no respect of like people's opinions of him. He's not, doesn't feel like he's molding his music into a certain niche. He's just doing him. That's what I feel like. I feel like after a certain time that wears out. You can't sustain that. And he's been in the game long enough to where I feel like any sort of gripes you might have against him, they're kind of, you can't.
When was the last time he put out a fucking record, man? You're talking like he's still pumping shit out every
like
fucking
2 years ago, like last year.
You gotta understand, I didn't like it when he came out. He just didn't do nothing for me.
So the records.
He was fucking goofy.
Let me ask you something, both of you. Do record sales for big guys like Eminem, let's not talk about E40, whatever, do numbers mean anything to you guys?
For me personally, numbers don't mean anything because
never.
One Direction, how many records do they sell?
Look it up.
Records are not indicative of actual like
Backstreet Boys. How many records did the Backstreet Boys sell?
I was gonna bring this up before we talked about like slang. I was gonna say, what's your opinion on Jay-Z? He's not doing any albums now.
Jay-Z don't have to.
Well, I know. So do you think?
He's a mogul.
Do you think that that's the direction of music, that we should just do away with CDs?
No, because
But I mean, obviously CDs are obviously,
What was the question?
just do you feel like that's the way music should go? Because he's going to set the trend.
This is the highest selling albums of all time.
Well,
No, he was
what's
asking about One Direction, weren't you?
Oh,
yeah, what's One Direction's record
They're
sale?
not on this list.
Okay, well, what's One Direction's records? How many records have they sold? And then how many records did Eminem sell? I don't know. I'm just saying. You can not like him, but you don't take.
It's not that I don't. It's not that I don't lie. I have no ill will towards him. He's just not. He's overrated to me.
Sure, I can see that because he's universal.
Not even universal. If Eminem, like you said, if Eminem wasn't white, he wouldn't have sold all these records.
But what if? What if Tupac
You just said
was
what
white?
if. You just said what if with the Kendrick. Take away what if Kendrick wasn't from Compton.
Well, at least mine's a little more fucking plausible.
It's not plausible because we know that it's a history of, especially in music,
You can't fault
where
him
black
for being
people. No,
born in
where I'm not
Compton,
saying.
though.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there's a history of music.
But you can't fault him for being in
Black
Compton.
people have developed the majority of the 99% of the genres, like rock. Who started
Whose
rock?
fault is it that Eminem is white? His
Well,
parents.
you're not.
Whose fault
No,
is
we're
it?
not saying it. I'm saying it's a history. As soon as there's a decent white artist that's good at a fucking certain genre,
know that.
they're gonna get
Rock
hyped
and
up and they're
roll.
gonna get put over as the greatest thing since fucking sliced fucking
I
bread.
understand that.
So
But
there's
who-
a lot of that once white people saw, oh, we got a decent artist that's not fucking a clown like Vanilla Sky and has a stamp of approval from Dr. Dre, gung ho, we're gonna get behind him.
I'll give you an example of a recent one because I was going to ask you, name me another white rapper or whatever. What's his name? Macklemore.
G-Eazy.
Macklemore.
Daniel likes G-Eazy.
I don't know who the fuck that is. Macklemore.
Macklemore's a clown.
Okay, Macklemore he was big when he did the fucking thrift shop, whatever
Logic.
the fuck it's called,
That song
right?
was trash too.
But listen to that. What I said earlier about Eminem, you put enough time in the game, people are going to find out if you're fake or not. Whether you're the real deal, whether you're actually
It
worth
helps.
your weight.
It helps when you have Dr. Dre's stamp of approval.
It does, but that's not his fault, man. You can't.
That's not his fault. That's
How is that Kendrick's fault?
whose? No, I'm not talking about Kendrick. I'm talking about Eminem. Eminem's lucky. Eminem had Dr. Dre's
So
stamp
who-
of approval.
So who found? So I know Dr. Dre found Eminem. I know all
Yeah.
that shit. But how? How did they find
Houseway.
that?
I don't know. He discovered him and put his first. Eminem was
how?
doing some. I don't know Eminem like
Does that matter though? If he's out hustling and somehow he
Eminem was
you're
not hustling fucking.
I don't mean
independent.
drugs. I
no,
mean
I'm talking.
just
Eminem
whatever.
wasn't hustling the independent scene, pressing up CDs like 50 Cent and selling mixtapes. Yeah, he
Well,
wasn't
I don't
doing
know
that.
that. That's why I'm
No,
asking.
I know he wasn't doing
If
that.
he
I
was
know.
doing that, it'd be a more like. Do you respect 50 Cent?
All right, speaking of
I
50
love
Cent,
50. I respect 50 Cent. Yeah.
50 Cent, best biopic of any rap biopic so
Get
far.
Rich or Die Trying.
Get Rich or Die Trying.
It was
is the
just a
best
good
It's just a
biopic.
movie. It's just a
Regardless of 50
movie.
Cent shit, 50 was actually living the life he was talking about. And he was putting up his own money. I'm impressed. I'm just
And
doing,
let's talk
I'm doing
about
that for
that for a
shits and
second. I
gigs.
think that when it comes to rap and hip hop, like authenticity is one of the most important parts of the genre. You can't say that about any other type of music. Like these guys, what
Punk rock, maybe.
they're talking about. Well, punk rock doesn't really talk about their lifestyle. They talk
No,
about.
I know, but like, there's a punk lifestyle.
There's definitely like some authenticity to punks, but it's not the same.
I understand what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
100%.
And like punk is dead.
And country music fans, there's kind of another like
Country's dead.
Dude.
There's real country
saw
died with Johnny Cash.
When
All
Dr.
right?
Dre, Dr. Dre heard an Eminem mixtape or a demo tape, and he
Was
said
a
he wanted to
demo.
meet him, but he didn't know he was white until he met him.
What does that mean to you?
What do you mean? What does that mean to me? What is it supposed to mean?
He's basing his wouldn't that
Oh, I'm not saying-
insinuate
I
that he's
never-
basing it off of talent?
I
and
never
not
said.
skin color?
I never said.
Yeah,
I
he
just
didn't
told
say
you.
that Dre said, "Oh, he's white."
I never said that Eminem didn't have talent.
The
Eminem's
point-
a better rapper and MC than Kendrick, in my opinion.
So do you
His
think
lyrical content and what he's talking about does not register with me where I'm intrigued to want to listen to
right?
him.
I will.
His song content and what the shit he's talking
And it
about.
was the inverse of the question too. Like if he was if he was black, he wouldn't make it. The's a guy that people talk
Don't you
about.
think you need to try harder if
He's-
you're white? I mean, if you're
we already talked about 10 minutes ago how the only people buying fucking albums are white kids. When they see one of their own, or you think they're not going to buy, oh, he's white, I'm not going to buy his
I'm
shit.
saying, look, hold on. Let's go with what
That's
Carlos
it.
said.
He just brought a fucking list up. The only reason why people listen to Machine Gun Kelly and Mac Miller and all these garbage ass fucking clowns is because they're fucking white.
Little
Wearing their
Dicky.
fucking
That's
little
not what
tank
I
tops
mean.
and their fucking tattoos.
That's not what I'm
sleeves and
saying.
shit.
I'm
Neck
saying,
tattoos
do
of
you think
fucking
once-
kisses on their.
They have to try harder to get the respect of the
That's what
actual
I'm
hip hop
asking.
community.
Thank you.
But the hip hop community, what he said, they're not buying the fucking records.
Sure. So you think mass appeal wise,
Action
just because
Bronson.
he's only as big because of white people or people who bought his records.
This
Of
Not
course,
necessarily.
that's what
is
allowed
all
him to.
subjective as fuck. If I showed you some, if I played you some tracks,
We
that
can all agree
I'm,
Drake sucks.
that
That's
I'm
all.
into. Oh yeah, Drake doesn't even write his own shit.
There you go.
I can't hate on Drake though.
He's got.
Oh,
Me either.
here we go.
Two
Yeah, I
on
need to hear
one.
this.
You know why?
Here we
You know
go.
why? Because Drake
He-
acts like his corny, never got pussy self in all the, and how he moves.
He's always been like that.
He's always been a fucking corny dude that fucking
does
You
have-
can respect
finally got some
Drake.
play.
You can respect Drake's
But not
Degrassi
Eminem.
ass, but not Eminem.
I'm confused.
I never said I didn't respect
Drake
Eminem.
does have a couple tracks where he tries to go hard though, like where I'm like, come on, bro.
Well, you know why?
You're not-
Well,
you're
you
not
gotta
gangster like
understand
that.
who backs up Drake.
Oh, see, here we go. Now you gotta
you
understand.
gotta you gotta understand when you
Why?
know
Because
who,
he got a little Wheezy on
no
his
he
back.
he has Jay Prince.
Young Money.
Jay Prince, former manager of the Ghetto Boys, Rap A Lot Records.
Okay.
He's like got his. I don't want to say he's got his hand in his pocket, but he's.
But Dr. Dre in Eminem's pocket. Nope, that's not.
You're
cool.
not even listening. I'm talking street shit right now. That's which is you're not understanding. Remember when that beef?
Oh,
remember that
yeah,
beef with
okay.
Diddy
I
and
forgot.
Drake? Remember when that beef Diddy and Drake had?
Yeah.
Sit down.
Jay Prince put out had a call to Puffy, and then Puffy stopped. I'm sorry, I messed with him. So Drake has certain people that protect him. When I respect Drake. Drake's corny as fuck, and he doesn't run from that. Did I say he had lyrical talent? Did I say any of that? No. I said I can't listen to Eminem because I don't like his narration. I don't sympathize with his struggle.
It's because Drake shouts out the Bay.
Drake wants to be a Bay dude. he does. You could tell in his
probably what
same
it
thing
is
with
then.
Draymond.
He's closer.
That's what it
Oh,
is.
the
I guess.
message.
Yeah.
I guess that's because in terms-
Eminem's his perspective and view on American. I don't relate to that, so it doesn't do nothing for me. Do I recognize that he is a talented MC? Yes, he ate
you
Jay.
relate to Drake's music.
I didn't say I relate to Drake. I said I respect that he's himself, a corny fucking dude that never got girls before, and now that he's got fucking money, he's
from
feeling
Degrassi.
himself. You lose 20 pounds and you get a fucking defined chest and a 4-pack. You don't mean to tell me you're not gonna change up a little?
He was wheelchair
Well, it's not
Jimmy.
gonna happen. So I can't.
I'm saying you're not gonna change up a little. Drake's feeling himself now.
I'm gonna tell you. Here's why. I'll tell you no.
like
if I
Daniel
did
getting a
that.
new haircut.
If I had a.
You
if
can
I-
answer that question
If
better
I had
than
a
he can.
6-pack, I would not change. Here's why: because I'm still stuck with my fucking personality. You give me $20 million,
Can't change that
now
face.
that's different. That's different. I might. If you give me $20 million, I don't give a fuck what I
Daniel,
look like.
if you were good looking, your shitty personality would work for you.
Exactly.
Your personality doesn't work with women because you look like the way you do. That's,
Well, no, if
that's
he-
the problem. Like girls like to fucking dickheads when they're good looking, But when it's like you, it's like, why
So then I-
is this,
so then
why
I
is this
wouldn't
clown
change then.
talking to me
So
that
I
way? Who the
wouldn't
fuck does this guy think
so
he
I
is?
wouldn't change then.
Eskimo looking ass motherfucker.
No, you wouldn't. You'd be so.
You'd
dick,
get more.
but-
You'd be slinging.
Let's bring this back to you. Yeah, I don't know which one of you brought up.
I brought
Eminem.
up
At the end of the day,
Eminem.
Eminem shitted on Jay-Z on the Renegade track, but Eminem's not even the top 5 of fucking MCs. Tell
Who's
you
your
that
top 5?
much. If
all
that,
time.
now that
Of all
depends.
time.
That depends. If we're talking about who can spit flow bar for bar.
Just who are your personal favorite top 5? If you
My
could
top,
only save
I
them
won't say so. I
for a time vault.
split it up into who's the better songwriters
ODB.
and who's the better fucking MC that can battle and eat you up in a 16. My number one still probably it's a toss up between fucking Biggie and Big Pun.
Okay.
Big Pun is a 400-pound man that can just fucking spit bars, and fucking even Nas and Ghostface and all these Wu-Tang like
Underrated.
oh my fuck, his wordplay and his metaphors was just light years ahead. Biggie, Pun, Nas, Jay's on there, Scarface. That's off the top of my head right now.
What do you?
As far as songwriter though, Tribe Called Quest, Tupac, Outkast.
You like Outkast music?
I love Outkast music.
There's a, I would,
Because I split it up, hip hop. I split it
No,
up
I
between
understand.
MC
It's a
and
valid-
songwriter.
it's a valid
the
split.
last great hip hop album, and this is me dating myself, was Aquemini by Outkast. That was the last great hip hop album.
That was fucking awesome.
Nothing after Aquemini fucking.
When did that come
everything-
out?
1998. Pales in comparison.
Do you know what? You know what the last like hip hop rap whatever album that I listened to in its entirety that I own was the
Jesus.
documentary. No, I don't
The
own
game documentary.
that. I love
had
the
that one.
documentary.
Funny, you know who taught the game how to rap in 16 bar form? Where he learned that from?
Tell me, educate
300
me,
bars in running.
Huh?
educate me.
He moved to the Bay Area and learned how to rap in 16
Bay,
bar
bro.
song structure.
Bay.
I'm serious. His first independent
I'm
album.
not-
his
I'm
first
not-
independent album was put out by JT the Bigger Figure, and that's where the game I learned how to rap.
JT.
I didn't know that. Well, I like the documentary. I didn't like
Allegedly.
shit else after that, but I like the documentary.
JT, he's from the Fillmore, right?
Yeah.
Ain't no game like Fillmore game.
He taught because Game was very. If you listen to Game's first mixtapes, and he sounds like Shine.
I don't know who that is.
Shine was the guy that Biggie brought in, or not Biggie, that Puffy brought in after Biggie died because he had a deep voice and he kind of sounded like Biggie. So he was trying to like.
He's the one that shot at the club. Well, J-Lo and Puffy were there and went to jail.
He's
Remember
trying
that
to
story?
market him as a Biggie imposter, basically. Like,
I didn't know.
You remember that story where there was a
Yeah,
club shooting?
that was him?
Shine's the one that shot went to jail because Puffy's bitch ass hired an attorney that disproved Shine's statement. So
You know that
basically,
song, yeah, the fucking reggae guy singing the hook.
Yeah.
Whoa, somebody he be the hardest, he be like,
Yeah.
whoa,
Bring the song up.
swing.
I'll do
What's the
Shine,
song?
Bonnie and Shine.
Bonnie and Shine.
It's Shine,
So who do you think?
S-H-Y-N-E.
Who do you think has left the biggest
S-H-Y-N-E.
impact on hip hop? The Bay or like New York?
I'm gonna personally say New York because they invented this shit. Obviously, I mean.
Well,
that's-
it's
That's what I'm just saying. Impact.
New York created the culture. The actual music, like that's just a hybrid of the South, like of a blue rhythm and blues and jazz. Like the South doesn't get a lot of credit as they should in hip hop.
Oh, that's not the song though.
Oh, you can't plug it in.
That's
We're out of
We
tracks.
don't need the laptop, he said.
As
You
far
wanna
as
put it
like
on the
as far,
Bad Boys is the song.
as far as what influenced culture, like being a player, being like all the street shit of like pimp culture and
What
all
we
that.
know of
That's
rap and
Bay
hip-hop
Area
today.
shit. But as far as like hip hop,
It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
with
about
the whole essence of it, b-boy, of course that's New York, but the New Yorkers like to malign the South a lot. Because if you listen to old James Brown songs, James Brown's doing 4-bar raps, 6-bar raps in some of his songs. So all New York took a lot of like the same thing like during the Renaissance. All those artists that moved up from the South up north created that Renaissance.
it. Right. No,
So-
I hear you. That's
I mean,
why
there's
was
a
just
lot of
curious.
influence.
It congregated.
From, like, soul music.
It congregated. New York developed the culture with the b-boys and the dancing and the mixing and the scratching. That's all New York. New York is its genesis, and then it just spread.
I mean, the one thing I got.
But the one individual person that left the most impact on rap is Tupac. Still to this day.
The one thing I gotta say is like you can hear, I feel like '80s rap, it all sounds the fucking same no matter
Yeah.
where they came from. Everybody kind of rapped the same. The
They're
beats,
still figuring it out. That's
the
why.
beats were all very similar, and it wasn't because even NWA's first album, that all those fucking songs sound like Public Enemy.
Yeah.
all the beats sound like Public Enemy. It wasn't until Dre dropped the Chronic, and I'm not saying he was the first guy to do it, but him sampling like these old funk records and having like that high pitched like synthesizer going on in the background, that's kind of started. That's when shit started
I'll tell
separating.
you, I like this. It wasn't until California, like LA and the Bay, started doing rap, where it's like, whoa, these guys can make hits.
Well, that's when people started making money.
Well, no,
Like,
no, they were
filthy
like,
money.
I'm talking about like
Well,
the
on
style, like he's saying
screen,
that.
like-
No, he's talking about the style,
The beats were
the
different.
the beats were different. The beats were actually hit. You can't dance to fucking New York hip hop beats from
Yeah, I
the
hear what you're
80s.
saying,
And
yeah.
there's no, they're
You
not.
go-
That's,
And there was
Yeah.
hooks as well. Like I love East Coast hip hop, but the hooks on those are not the same. They're not radio hooks.
the
Like,
South and the West Coast created the ability to get the party started.
That's why you want to, that's why cars, they have the bass boosters and shit like that. I remember growing up in the 90s. You would hear what someone was listening to
yeah, the
down
808,
the block.
808 shit. That's California.
And I mean, you would know. You would, whether you want to listen to it or not, you're going to listen to it.
Yeah.
People are going to blast it so fucking loud that you're going to hear it through your house. I mean, in a car. And so I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
And it's catchy too. Because you're like, oh, what's that? And then you look it up yourself. And,
and
you're
then
into it.
and then the East Coast had like they got a little offended when like West Coast hip hop came out. Like they didn't like it. They
Well,
thought
it's
it was
just like how you and Gian are offended by mumble rapping, right?
well, everybody's offended by mumble rapping.
Not the people who listen to it, because obviously it's important enough that it's still
I'm not offended.
Prevalent.
I'm not offended
I
by
just
it.
think
Just it's trash. It's trash.
right. But I'm
There's a lot of people
What
that
I'm
don't
saying
think
is-
it's trash.
yeah, exactly.
Well,
what
who's
I'm saying.
buying those songs?
Nobody's
Somebody.
buying this because ain't making any money.
No
No, I'm
one's-
saying who listens to that?
Yeah, Carlos.
Why is it playing on the radio?
Well, because when you got four or five companies controlling the
what's
radio,
playing on the radio? None of these guys I hear of are ever on the radio.
Who?
Says.
Dude, they're still.
What's his name?
You could turn up fucking what is it? 105? Is it Hot 106? What is it called?
105.9.
Power 106.
Power 10 Hot 106 in New York.
It's the real 92.3.
If you go Power 106, they're still playing fucking Dr. Dre shit from the early 90s
Sometimes,
in
yeah.
their mixes.
no,
Not
New York's still
sometimes.
playing Biggie.
Once-
They'll play a
West
Biggie
Coast
song every
Wednesdays,
day.
yes.
Once an hour.
West Coast Wednesdays.
Oh, yeah, that's not one station. I know that all they play is, yeah.
Carlos,
that's
I don't
funny.
listen to it at all.
No,
That shit's funny.
New York still plays Biggie like once a day. Like they're still playing rap.
They're still playing these old songs. Is what
They're
I'm
not
saying.
playing mumble rap in New York.
There was a
They
time.
play trap music.
There was a
lot.
time where the second your new album came out, nobody was listening to.
Who's
your old
listening to
album.
most of the people that are on SoundCloud?
What's your
the,
opinion of Migos?
Who are they? Who's that?
Garbage.
They're fucking. I just know they're trash. I just hear their name. They're like,
Dude,
I don't know.
I just can't respect any rapper that rhymes
you don't-
everything with A.
I've never listened to them. I don't know. Really know. I know USC had them at the concert, but
Everything they do. I mean, maybe not them. They're either singing hella slow.
Unplug your mic and plug this in.
I know they have that Bad and Bougie. That's the only song I know.
Play.
song?
That's the only
so
song
you do
I heard.
know the song.
I don't know who
say.
they are though.
What
I don't
song?
know who like. I don't know
What
what
would you
they, I don't-
classify that genre-wise?
Like Simon Cowell said, it's a forgettable experience. They won't be a. You're not gonna talk. Who's gonna bring up Migos in 20 years?
I'm not arguing with
So
you.
that's
at
what I'm saying. I don't
all.
know
Does
I
Carlos?
tell this to Carlos all the time.
Does Migos go A after every bar? Like, I'ma in your bitch. Hey, I'ma take your shit. Hey, I'ma fuck your shit. Hey, I'ma fuck your bitch. Hey. That's every single song.
See, for me, music is.
And then all of a sudden, and then it comes into like a shit you don't even understand. How about a how about hey? How about a hey? How about a number to how about hey? How about a how about hey? Here it comes.
Oh, you hear the flow? Here we
I don't.
Give me a fucking record deal.
I don't. That's just.
We should put a beat to that.
go.
What you
It's
just
because
did.
people like the beats. It's
No,
I mean,
it's
I'm
not.
not-
And it's the,
It
the,
is.
the subliminals.
People like the
That's a
beats.
dumbing down of like Percocet, like the future
Yeah,
song
yeah.
Percocet. That's
I think
listen
people.
to listen to the content of what you're listening
I think
to.
the beats is what gets mo.
Mine
Because
is Percocet.
these beats are good. I don't. Some of Kendrick's beats are good, and I've shit on some of Kendrick's beats
No,
too because
they're-
I feel like
they're-
some of them are over. Like they just.
You
I,
shit on the last one.
I shit on. So I'm not sure which song it was, but Carlos played some song in the car. We were going to a Dodger game one time, and I was just like, "Fuck, man." Kendrick likes to do this thing sometimes where he'll take a beat and then like make it sound bad because that sounds cool, like out of tune or like something that makes it a little more not as refined. I wish I knew the song that we were listening to at the time.
He wants that raw.
I like J. Cole better than Kendrick.
I do too.
That's fine.
He wants that raw.
I've only listened to-
Triple X
I-
Temptation sound.
I've only
Carlos,
listened
you like
to
that too, huh?
I've only listened to Kendrick like 7 or 8 songs of Kendrick. I just can't get into. I'm very big on like how does the sound enter my brain?
Maybe you haven't heard the right song
No,
then.
from I've heard enough to like the ones that my friends told me listen to this, and I trust their.
Oh, because you were
musical
like,
ear.
you probably like this one. This is
Yeah.
the one you're gonna like.
Yeah,
And then you don't
I mean,
like
I'm
it.
like, that's cool, but I'm talking. For music, for me, it's an more of a, like a spiritual acceptance. Like I appreciate music's the only thing that can enter our subconscious without our permission.
Right.
So I'm very. That goes into like my metaphysical, spiritual quirks that I have. I just don't. If it doesn't resonate with my spirit, I'm not gonna pay two minds to it. I love Sinatra. You know, I like quality music. I like art. I love Prince. I love fucking the OJs. I love fucking Al Green. Like Sade, like shit like that. Like when people going nuts over fucking Beyonce. Don't get me wrong, Beyonce's a great entertainer. Fuck y'all, Beehive. Y'all ain't shit anyways though. But Beyonce ain't been authentic to me till she put out Me, Myself, and I. Her first fucking album. That was great. That was her being vulnerable. Now this is like a manufactured. It's like
Oh, I agree. She's
Beyonce's-
on message. She's on message. Her and Jay-Z want to be the first $1 billion like couple.
hell of they already are.
They are?
Yeah.
Oh. What's Jay-Z worth then?
All right, guys,
800
I hate to
million?
cut this short, man. We're going a little long.
We're going a little long. Who brought up the sexual assault of Pac?
No one.
I brought it up.
We could have tied that into what happened with the
Oh,
what was
I
it?
did,
Bachelor
I
on
did.
was it? Was it?
Oh, we both did.
what was that thing that got stopped?
The Bachelor.
Bachelor on
Bachelor
Paradise.
Bachelor on
Paradise.
Paradise, that line fucking Jezebel.
You'd have to explain it. I told you I didn't read the articles.
So here's what happened. This fucking broad, she fucking was in the pool with the brother, white chick. They were getting it on. It was all drunk.
Cast members or crew?
The cast. It was filmed. Someone that saw it, one of the producers, filed a complaint saying that she was too incapacitated to agree to whatever. I think it was oral sex.
So he raped her.
That's what
Allegedly.
Allegedly, the producer filed a complaint, and that's what halted production. It wasn't even the girl. It was one of the producers.
So she was sloppily sucking his dick.
Yes. And she said
She
that
must be drunk the way she throws that shit.
And she said that she would. The complaint said that she was too incoherent to give consent.
What did she say?
She said, "I don't remember," and then she came out saying she was a victim. Hired Gloria Aldred.
So it's turned into a thing then.
No, the producers yesterday said like they didn't. After doing all the investigation, there was no wrongdoing.
Why not?
Their production's starting again. That leads to my whole point of like. Maybe they
So
just
they threw
did this
him under
for
the
hype.
rug for
No,
nothing?
he's coming back. They threw him under the rug for nothing, but he's coming back. He's actually hired defense to sue if he can for defamation. But there's going to be no charges filed against him because there was no. I guess the authorities saw the tapes, and there was no.
So she was just sucking his dick really.
Yeah, they were
sloppy.
both fucked up. So the argument was like, how can she not be able to?
Well, that's
a double standard and a half that we
that's
had.
another conversation.
That was the whole thing
That's-
with like Pac, like they don't tell the story like he
allegedly though. We
allegedly
don't fucking know.
what he
in
was
Pac.
guilty for fucking. He was guilty for. It says like he was forcefully touching the buttocks,
Sure, but we don't.
and
know
they
what
initially
happened
was
that
charged
night.
with rape.
We don't know what happened. It's all speculation, though. I mean, it really is because we don't fucking know. At the end of the day, it's all based on what we really want to believe, based
No
on whatever.
victim blaming here. You know, the SJWs and the Latinxs are going to come after you.
I'm just saying, on both sides, man. You don't like. There's definitive ones like Brock Turner.
I mean, that's over 20 years ago now, so it's like.
But I'm just saying though, there's definitive ones where you can't argue with it. And if this shit was caught on tape and that was deemed like this was not a thing,
Yeah.
then we need to. Then he should probably sue the
He
producer.
should go after them
'Cause
the
that's
same
what's
way they
right.
maligned his character.
That's what I'm saying exactly. But
and
there's-
she should face some charges.
Well, if she went along with it,
She
And
did.
that's how we're gonna
And she
wrap
had
this
she
up,
had a
guys.
boyfriend too. And I got to share the article with Gian. The boyfriend's backing her up. He's like, I fully support her, and I'm going to stay
That
with
just
her.
Probably a
sounds.
cuck.
I've heard that story a
He's a
million
cuck.
times. She doesn't want to be fucking slut shamed. So the first
He
thing,
raped me.
not the first time.
And
They-
she's white and he's black, so
They
of course.
fucking did that
I
to
know.
that shit happened to fucking Bryce Dixon at USC. He was a fucking 4-star recruit, tight end. He was a freshman, had a great freshman season. He fucked one of the trainers. I guess there's a policy that you're not supposed to hook up with the players. Well, she fucking said, "Oh, he raped me." Got him kicked out of fucking school. Then she reneged her comment and said when she realized what she'd done, and then said, "No, that didn't happen." But the guy already got his scholarship revoked, and then he ended up fucking robbing somebody.
wasn't James Winston or
carjacking
whatever
somebody.
his name?
Jameis Winston? I mean, that's a different story.
Crab legs.
Crab legs.
But didn't he? Wasn't that like a similar story to him too?
Yeah, well, he said like, there was a sexual assault thing on him, and that one was covered up a little bit by the university.
Because
This
he's-
one,
because he's
USC,
big.
just
The same thing with Peyton Manning.
Just cut. Yeah, there's that one.
I don't know what happened to Peyton
He
Manning.
That's
threw his
the old-
balls in a girl's
Yeah,
face.
threw it in the trainer's face.
He threw his balls.
There was balls in the trainer's face.
He
How the
like on
teabagged
Step
her.
Brothers, teabagged the drum set.
But how? Like
You've never teabagged a girl on the forehead?
no, but like
Has he, G?
not like a random experience. Like what? I'm just curious what the circumstances were.
Well, there's no clear, but all they say is like
It was covered up.
Yeah, like he turned around and put his balls in her face as a joke.
I mean that's fucked up. But I mean it's kind of like what situation? Like
The University of Tennessee covered up, but gotta cut this short, guys. Can't go
He's
into
married
a
now.
fucking tangent now. So
Has to cut it short.
You know the drill. DNZTalk.com, subscribe, and all that.
Direct
That's
all
it.
your hate tweets to Only Sanch.
Only Sanch.
on Twitter.
All your hate.
None of this.
Leave comments so we can talk shit back to you. Yeah.
No, everyone's listening. This is a good episode.
Yeah.
All right,
All right.
that's it. We're done.